So there is this odd conspiracy theory going around the internet about a nation state erased from the history of the world and why it was done. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about the lost empire or kingdom of the Tartars, Great Tartary. Honestly, a lot of the problem and the ease of misunderstanding is the changes in the use of language and people not understanding archaic linguistics. Today in modern America, when we say a country, we mean a nation state. We mean a geographical region unified under a single government or ostensibly some sort of governmental apparatus that allows. Russia is a country. It has a government, it has an ethnicity, it's got some various languages, but it's a nation. China is a nation. Japan is a nation. In America today, when we say country, that's what we mean. It's more accurate for most of human history that when you say country, well, it's more like countryside or the region, the vicinity. So the ancient Greeks understood there were these vague barbarian tribes north of the Black Sea, that they were barbars. Later on, in the Roman, late Western Roman, and then Eastern Roman imperial period, they were Tartars, and they knew there was a vague, large land area up there, unexplored, filled with many different tribes of Tartars, of people that came from Tartary and from the region of the Tartars. It's more like, even now we say Germany, speaking of Germany, but the Deutsch people call themselves Deutsch and have never used the Roman term Germania. And so we still refer to that area and did as Germany when there were many different nation states there before they unified in 1870. The region was Germany. French call it Allemagne, even more confusing, but it was a region of Germany, but it was an area made up of many different nation states. So you have this large area east of there that is Tartary, where Tartars come from. By the time of the fall of the Eastern Roman Empire, you've already had some centuries of Scandinavian Vikings coming down the rivers all the way to the Black Sea, blending with the local population, conquering the local population. You have the Kievan Rus, the Muscovy Rus, that ends up giving the name to the country of Russia in the future. But all that time with that going on, you don't know all the details. In most of the world, you would refer to that place on a map as Tartary. You might actually, in a poetic way, if you were going to write a poem about Russia today, you might use it in a poetic sense, the region of Tartary. So finding these things referred to in, encyclopedic form, in dictionary form, finding maps that just show this amorphous giant blob of Tartary or Great Tartary, just meaning that it's big, not a great nation, but large, doesn't demonstrate that there was ever anything there other than various tribes of, well, I guess what were related to the Huns but hadn't all moved west, what are Mongols, what are going to be some Asiatics, what are going to be sort of traditional Tartar peoples that were similar to the Celts but further east, and then the Rus, the Vikings coming down from the north. It's a whole blended barbarian area, sort of like calling it the zone, the forbidden zone, the outer limits, Tartar, Great Tartary. And so if you look at this stuff, you find these references in maps, dictionaries, encyclopedias of an earlier era, and you're looking at it through modern eyes and modern understanding of the way we use the word country. Well, then you're like, wow, there's this huge country there. Why don't we know any more about that? There's this large area there, and it's called Great. Why don't we know anything about that? Well, it's not, as much as we live in a world where we're lied to about a lot of things, it would be hard to hide Tartary historically over a long period of time, and nobody did. It is there, it is what it is. It is tribes of Tartars and Rus and Mongols and Huns and whatever leftovers wandering in this amorphous territory. So as much as there are many things that need to be uncovered that are being hidden, especially in modern times, Tartary, there's kind of really nothing to see here.